My name is Hal Saunders, former Assistant Secretary of State in the Carter administration, and now President of the International Institute for Sustained Dialogue. Our country is more angrily and deeply divided than at any time in my lifetime. Too many people have lost the capacity to talk respectfully or relate constructively to one another. Sustained dialogue transforms relationships to design change.
Retired U.S. diplomat Hal Saunders has spent 4 decades developing, practicing, and teaching a process he calls sustained dialogue to transform destructive relationships into productive ones. For his 80th birthday, Hal and his wife Carol brought together friends and colleagues from those 40 years of experience. They wanted to share their legacy with the rising generation, as Hal and his colleagues worked as diplomats during one of history's most dangerous eras.
We are here to celebrate the work of so many of you to confront and overcome some of the biggest challenges that our nation has faced.
The evening dramatized that sustained dialogue is rooted in years of intense experience in and out of government.
No process of diplomacy among adversaries, interlocutors, goes anywhere without some degree of trust.
The key to that is one form, actually many forms, of dialogue. Talking together with a will to listen, and by listening be changed by what you hear.
During their diplomatic careers, each speaker demonstrated the importance of ongoing dialogue. In the 1970s, as Assistant Secretary of State, Hal was a key member of the diplomatic team that produced 5 Arab-Israeli agreements in 6 years, including the Camp David Accords and the Egyptian-Israeli Peace Treaty. In 1979, the Iranian hostage crisis threatened American lives in Tehran, the United States' first showdown with Islamic extremism. Bruce Langan, senior officer among the hostages, was held captive with 51 others 444 days. Hal worked tirelessly, never taking a single day off, to ensure that Bruce and his colleagues came home safely. After months of persistent mediation, all hostages were released.
I had never walked through the rain so happy as I did that night, Hal. I think you felt the same way.
I said to myself when I was in the middle of the hostage crisis, I'm going to be standing when they give up. And we were.
Hal's work with the Arab-Israeli peace process and non-official Cold War dialogue with the Soviets after he left government led him to create the process of sustained dialogue. In 1999, he helped students found a college version of the sustained dialogue process.
What's amazing about Hal is that when I was a cocky 20-year-old, he let me tell him how I thought sustained dialogue should be done on my campus to deal with race relations. It hasn't been mentoring through advice, it's been mentoring by listening.
More than 3,000 young people have effectively addressed divisive issues of race, ethnicity, faith, and gender on their campuses, and then transferred these skills to their workplaces and communities. In 2002, he founded the International Institute for Sustained Dialogue. Hal's experience taught him that dialogue needs to be sustained to transform the underlying relationships that block productive interaction.
Diplomacy is not, in the end, about communiques, and it's not, in the end, about conferences. It's about individuals.
Diplomacy in the 21st century is not the representation of one government to another, it's the representation of whole bodies politic.
Forging a common strategy on energy security, climate change, living sustainably on the planet, and all of those things require, as a first step, getting the diplomacy right.
I think that getting the diplomacy right requires supplementing diplomatic discourse with dialogue. As I said before, sustained dialogue transforms relationships.
It's a way in to be able to say, what can I do as a citizen? What can I do as one individual to create a space that lets us discuss the most important issues that are facing our lives?
What we've got to be so careful to do is to make sure that we pass on what we do know, what we have learned, so that the generations that are coming can make it their own.
It's essential that people understand that they're participating in something much larger than themselves. The skills developed through sustained dialogue have been used to prevent wars and forge peace. They truly work and they must live on.
To meet that challenge, we've launched Friends of Sustained Dialogue. It provides an opportunity to those who share our objectives to participate with us in this work, both substantively and through their financial support. Sustained dialogue is a powerful instrument that can bring generations together and can be passed on from generation to generation. And that's for the good of humanity.